Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties earlier, but we switched to the mobile. There's some things I want to talk to you guys about. Has the protest at Justice for Mica been hijacked? What's going on with all the bickering people? This is not a good look, in my opinion. Come on in, everybody. I'm back. I'm live from my phone talking about the protest for justice for Mica. I want to show you guys some stuff. I have some things, and I want your opinion as well. I'm wondering what's going on with all the bickering between the social media groups that have risen up in the name and memory of Micah, that have led to being messy, to being slanderous, just being hateful, in my opinion, and what's going on at the protests. This isn't a good look, not in my opinion. Tell me what y'all think. I'm just going to turn this on real quick so you can get a glimpse at what I'm talking about. If you have been living in a box for the last few days or something, I want to let you know what's going on. So we're going to turn on from CJ Crime Concepts his take on the what he calls plastic Jesus. What do you think?
So that's why we got that night off.
Still open. It's at $3,565 now. It's still open.
Okay, he's being confronted concerning a
Still open.
GoFundMe
Click on
account.
the link. You already got 3,000.
He's acting sus. What the heck is up with Jesus here? What do
$21,000.
y'all think about this guy?
Fairy tale life.
What do y'all think about this guy? Let me turn that back to me while the commercial's playing. All right, so we see apparently ah Jesus J, a guy we supported. Um, when he first showed up, I remember seeing him and thinking, "Oh, I'm glad Jesus showed up at the protest." You know what I mean? And the ensemble to me should have been just basically a silent witness. And we got into some trouble here in the last few weeks, and it's making me really question what's going on. What are y'all's take on the? I want to call him Plastic Jesus because I heard CJ say that. Um, I'm not on anybody's side. In fact, for some unknown reason, I was kicked out of a chat on CJ Concepts, and I have no idea why. I haven't been able to get back in, so I actually unsubscribed from him because I was like, what? Because I am a considerate person and I don't cuss and I don't say things too out of line, so why was I blocked from participating in the chat, CJ? Anyway, so that's I said, well, maybe I just don't even need to watch him much. But he just happened to pop up on my feed, and I saw this altercation. It's kind of an ongoing thing. Apparently, he had made a video concerning uh, Jesus J that was derogatory. Although I will say some questionable things came up I haven't looked into, but I just might, and that's concerning a GoFundMe. Um, Jesus J says it's for his house and to go read it. And I'm going to do that. Have y'all read it? Have y'all seen it? Do y'all know what it's about? I'm just curious um, about that particular thing because it sure sounds shady. So here, let's go back and anyway, this lady was asking about the GoFundMe. He's saying you go read it. Go read the GoFundMe.
Well, why don't you just let her know what it says?
CJ asked.
Your GoFundMe.
him to explain.
You can't answer for your GoFundMe. You're the one that's actually been doing the antics. I have a question.
Antics.
No, I have a question though. No, I'm not fine. Sir, I.
No, you're doing the antics.
No, what? That was you.
And actually, it was.
So why
Actually,
don't
it
you-
was.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is justice for my turn. No. You have
It's
an
almost
agenda
like a
because
cult.
You have an outfit that you're wearing. No, sir. No, sir. No, it's about peace, positivity, and progress. The community knows that. Do me a favor, please quit dressing up in a costume. Please stop dressing up in a costume.
Well, I don't see why he has to stop
Stop
dressing up.
instigating the
That's up to
protesters,
him.
Stop instigating the community. Stop instigating the police. Because when they give you rules, basically disregard their rules and walk up and down the road. And that's instigating what I do.
And there's a point to that. And I did have a problem with the way he approached
What is the reason for the
JP.
$21,000. What is the reason for the fairy tale life? It was her question that she had, sir.
Okay, so anyway, that's all going on in public streets right in front of the church. That's what's going on, and that's what's representing Mica at this time to a lot of people who pass by and see it. You know, apparently the barricades are back after an incident between Jesus J and JP where, and I'm just saying, if Jay had run up on me the way he ran up on JP, I probably would have pushed him too. I'm not saying it's right, and I certainly acknowledge that JP crossed the picket line. Nevertheless, Jay ran up on him. There's no need to run up on people like that, especially when you're tall and big. It's intimidating and dressed, no offense, but freakishly. And, because now that's what it's coming across as, instead of just a silent reminder of Jesus Christ our Lord present in all that we do, especially when we come against people who are pretending to be church leaders, people who are misleading large groups of people, then yeah, I can see that. And at first, when I first saw Jay, I was like, man, that's cool. At least, here he is, dressed up like Jesus, silent witness. Thank God Jesus showed up at the protest. Okay, I was hoping it was going to be like that, but it's turned into something pretty ugly. Something that's blatant and out on the streets and in the social media and on the YT and on the TikTok and wherever else it might be. And I don't think that that's serving any kind of a good purpose. Willie Wonder says, I'm so confused why people are turning against each other. What did I miss? I know. I'm confused too. Susan Stevens says, I don't like him dressing up as though he were Jesus, especially acting like that. And I get it. I get it. You know, if he had showed up week after week, dressed in the garb but was silent, how effective a witness like that could be. And I think it kind of started that way, but then he got a little carried away and more of his own personality started coming out, despite the fact that he was dressed in a representation of Jesus. I'm beginning to see more and more Jay, and we're all just people. So still, I didn't have a problem with that. Then in the social media groups, I probably wouldn't have known too much about it, except for I myself got attacked on one of the groups. I belonged to two, and I had put a meme of a religious historical nature. It was not anything too profound. It was just a kind of a reminder that we as Christians in America have it pretty easy today compared to those saints who've gone before us and lost their life in some very gruesome ways. I was called a fearmonger and their God was a God of love, and I was pushing some kind of, yeah. Anyway, I didn't even feel like dealing with it, and I didn't, and I didn't, and I took down the meme. I'm like, oh, it's just a little thing. It's not worth a big old argument. I tried to explain it in the historical sense. The person that came against me, didn't want to hear history, didn't want to hear what the actual presentation was about. It was a meme, for goodness sakes. Um, they wanted to make a big deal and argue with me, so I blocked them and got out of that group. I'm like, it's not. I'm not. My blood pressure is certainly not going to be rising on account of a social media group ever. It's not happening. And so that was one group cut off. Then I saw Agatha May did a thing on a messy, so-called messy, um, Justice for Mica group that was out there with a secret agenda, um, composed primarily of flying monkeys and double agents, and it's like I don't have time for this either. And I didn't, although she does fantastic works on a lot of things, and I didn't particularly care too much for that particular exposure or whatever it was. What did y'all think about that? What did y'all think about Jay? Let's look at him again.
Why don't you ask him, or why don't you answer it? Told her to go read it.
He come over. I exactly answered her. That wasn't an answer. Yeah,
No, because that's
Winky, exactly. Silence goes a long way sometimes because this kind of banter. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so anyway, it seems like everything that goes on that I've seen, for some reason, Jesus J is right in the thick of it, And it wasn't really until maybe, well, when he ran up on JP, I didn't appreciate that. It's not necessary Sarah to push. He didn't push him, but he ran up on him and was close enough that he got shoved. It wasn't the right thing to do. JP was wrong. I'm not in any way kind of encouraging that, but at the same point, run up on me. Run up on me like that and see if you don't get pushed. And I'm not even violent. And I'm not a man. And I'm just a little tiny woman. I'm just saying. Yeah, you don't need to run up on people. Oh, you just wanted to be there first? Well, you know what? Handle yourself a little bit better than that, in my opinion. Winky Wonder says, do you know who the dark-haired lady with the camera was behind Jay? I think that is his wife. I'm not sure. Do y'all know? Do y'all know who the dark-haired lady was? This girl? I'm not sure. There was somebody, or if you're talking about the other one, I think she was a contact creator. But I'm not sure who all the people are. I just, it sounded like, somebody was kind of on his side, then it sounded like some other people were kind of saying, they, it sounded like they weren't. It got uglier than this. It really did. Let's see what happens here. Now, you'll hear the protesters chiming in.
Right here, I was looking off to the side. I was watching her.
You hear them chiming in.
No, actually, Jay, I was standing here talking right here. She was here.
See how he points? Rubs me the wrong way. Rubs me the wrong way.
You walked up, talked to her.
What do y'all think?
Then I turned the camera here because you said hello. Right. Everybody has it recorded. The video will be uploaded
See?
problem, sir. Sir, I feel bad. Sir,
You're a problem. Yeah, that's when we got a little bit weird. But
please.
it even got worse. It even got worse. Did Ranjit Singh. I'm sorry, I just said your name like that. I have a crazy first name and people say it crazy, so please forgive me. I know I said it super slow. Thanks for joining me. Now, this makes me so sad. Winky Wonder says, the focus should be on justice for Mike. Exactly. Exactly. What good does this type of behavior do? How does this come across as anything but fringe, fringe lunacy? You know? It looks bad. Um, I Spy Crime says, but the other bad thing is you can hear, yeah, Guru in the background saying that it was all JP's fault for crossing the line. Ah, I don't know what it is with people not hearing me today. I'm sorry about that, guys. I will definitely work on it. Um, yeah, exactly. This doesn't do anybody any good. It's the devil sowing discord. You're right, Winky. Discord. Discord, confusion. When you see those kinds of fruit being born out of any situation, you got to really step back because we know that the devil's fruit is confusion. Confusion. And, you know, when we act like this, doesn't it make JP look a little bit better? And we don't want to contribute to a false image. People will say, oh, these poor people, they're just trying to go to church and they're being harassed by, you know, a bunch of crazy people. And look what they're looking at. This is what they're looking at, people. Jesus and camera guys fighting. No, this isn't good. This isn't good. This is bad. This is not acceptable. You know, this is not acceptable, and this will put an end to things in a bad way. It's just kind of like a disaster waiting to happen. What do y'all think? Yeah. JP is a master at diversion and chaos. Exactly. I've said that right along, man. You know, you look at a person, you look at the fruits in their life, and you can see where they're coming from. You know, this is discord. Discord among the brethren, discord among the protesters. And this works against justice for Mica, in my opinion. It really does. Man, we need peace. We need to be peaceable. And we need to uphold our own standards of righteousness and do what's right. Nobody wants to come across scary in this situation. And yeah, you know, finally, I'm starting to agree with the early predictions. Do you remember Long, early on, given a false narrative saying that the family uh, had received justice for Mica? This was at the global settlement. He actually, you know, it was Regina Ward was asked a question. And Long jumped in there with the answer. Oh, this is justice for Mica. This basically is what justice for Mica looks like. Yeah. And then later on, her sister said, we never said that. We didn't even know that conversation was going to take place. We're not telling the protesters to protest, and we're not telling them to stop protesting, which is what they wanted at that time and what JP has wanted ever since. He wants all this to go away. And the protesters and people who are supporting justice for Mica are not going to drop it. We're not going to drop it. But if things need to be hemmed in a little bit or expanded or going in different directions to be effective, then, you know, it's time to take a minute to regroup, because what's going on the sidewalks outside, uh, Solid Rock Church is unacceptable and unprofitable and meaningless, and it's carnal. What do y'all think? Hi, I Spy. I appreciate you, man. On the positive side, you say, Mica's event is coming up, and this is her family, and that's where we can divert positivity. Oh, yes. Um, do you know the date right offhand? I'm an artist. I Spy. I didn't. I'll go back and look at the paperwork on that, or the I saved the little flyer that went around, and I definitely I would like to participate more. My problem is I don't have a car, so I'm kind of homebound at the moment until I can do better for myself. Yeah, I think it's November 15th too. I think that's what I saw. I'll look into that. Um, you know, I'm sure there's something I can do, one way or another. Um, I appreciate y'all so much, and I hope to see a lot of you there um, to see what's going on. Plus, it'll be a fun time, a fun family time with some music and probably some food and stuff. The things that happen at the beach are beautiful. I love being here in Myrtle Beach, um, and I like supporting positive things that are going on and things that are helpful in the community. I try my best to be a part of these things. Y'all, please pray that the Lord will help me out with the vehicle because I really hate being shut out in life like I am right now. But at the same time, it's also motivated me to get on YouTube, to create movies, to be um, expressive and creative in the things that God shows me to do. And so I really appreciate that. Sometimes time spent at home isn't wasted, even though part of me would like to be out in the public arena a little bit more because the more you stay home, sometimes the more you want to stay home. At least that's been true for me. Okay, so Michael Edge, I heard Guru got a restraining order by JP. How he even allowed to be in front of Solid Rock? I know. Thank you, I Spy. That's a good question. But I think that the restraining order or protective order issued to JP against Guru has to do with you can something about him saying his. Somebody said something about saying his name is prohibited, and he has to be a certain number of feet away. Although I don't recall Guru ever really doing anything to deserve that I know about. I remember seeing right from the beginning. iPhone Guru was the first person that JP actually spoke to outside of his house. Remember that evening he was going to get with the Robbie Harvey and uh, was it Jason from TikTok? And JP was like, I'm not talking to Robbie Harvey. My lawyer said don't talk to him. He's a bad dude, or some other such something like that. Anyway, and then JP was kind of looked like he was like really fascinated by the numbers, and I could almost see the dollar signs in his eyes as he wanted to, um, you know, speak on TikTok for the first time. And so anyway, Guru was there. He lives very close in some apartments or something right near him. Yeah. And, it was kind of a funny, but it was like kind of like the crack in the seal. That was his first public appearance since Mica's death on social media. Then after that, he did a few local news shows, and I was looking at some of that this morning. It's totally creepy. Then he did he came out, remember, with True Crime Re or True Crime Rye or whatever it is, and did that whole little series, and then there was some other dude that wanted to charge for admission into JP's interview and all this stuff, and a lot of people had controversy with that. Uh, it's just been a roller coaster of emotions, people. It's been nonstop from the beginning. I just happened to get on this because I live in Myrtle Beach and saw the uh, local newscast of the pastor's wife and her suspicious death, and I was like, wow, I actually went to that church one time. I brought my grandson. They were having an outdoor children's festivity. I went with my neighbor and her little girl, and what was really crazy was everything had this really awesome appearance from the outside. There was a petting farm and, a big bouncy house, and, it looked to be like a lot of fun for the kids, and they went and they were having a good time. But to get to we had gone inside for some reason, and as soon as we went in, my grandson, who had been feeling fine all day, threw up. I mean, literally, as soon as we walked in, and I got this overwhelming feeling of dizziness and darkness. And I can't even explain what happened. I got him cleaned up, it cleaned up, and I said, let's go outside. I didn't see the neighbor that I had come with, and I was kind of looking around for her. And once I was outside, I felt all right. And so did he. He went on and was playing and whatnot. But inside that building, we both got mysteriously ill. A spiritual attack is what I would definitely call it. But anyway, then it wasn't, just a few weeks later that we heard of this. In between, my friend said, hey, you want to go to that church with me? And I said, no, no, I just don't. I don't know why. And then, I see how the Holy Spirit just, was letting me know that wasn't the place for us to be at that time. And I do believe it was a satanic attack against us when we walked into that building, because it was so mysterious that we both got so sick upon entering Solid Rock Church. I'm not even saying that it would happen to anybody else. I'm just saying this happened before I ever knew, while Mica was still alive, while these things were, before they had been exposed. So, pay attention to what the Holy Spirit shows you guys when it comes to going really anywhere, but particularly going to a spiritual storehouse or a church, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, iSpy says when Mica was there was light. As soon as he announced her passing, that congregation felt the evil and left. Yeah, apparently about 500 or 600 people left if the congregation at one time had been about 700 people. And now there's 40, 50, I don't know. iSpy says he wants to blame everyone else, but he did this all by himself. It doesn't seem like to me he's ever been right. Maybe he was. Maybe when he first got excited and started a church back in that little library, maybe then he had an inkling of living for Christ. I don't know. Did anybody know him back then? Oh, sorry. Sorry for the sound today, guys. I'm going to work on that and get it fixed one way or another. I am moving around. I've got my phone in my hand, and I'm sorry for the crackling noise. I tend to be very animated. I tend to speak with my hands, and see, I'm holding my hand still, and it's like my mouth is stopping. The words stop coming when my hands stop moving. But we'll do better with the lives. This is something new for me, kind of, and I really appreciate you all joining in. I really, really do. Y'all mean the world to me. Please like and subscribe to help my little station grow. I just was wondering what you all thought about what was going on. Yeah, to make a list of JP's disorders would take a long time. But some of them are very obvious. I made a little movie yesterday about the narcissist, or I did a live about the narcissist and the empath. The narcissist and the empath. Yes, goes together like cheese and rice, don't it? And Mica and JP certainly fit that description because I do believe that she had a really good heart and a beautiful heart, and I believe she was empathetic, and I think that's why he was so drawn to her because narcissists love an empath. They can take all kinds of advantage of an empath because she's so understanding and so willing to accept so much. But you know you're with a narcissist as soon as you put a boundary up because they will push against it, just as JP pushed against Mica to the brink. To the brink. And that is the purpose of uh, justice for Mica, to help people who are being pushed to the brink of their very life, to help people who are discouraged and displaced, who can't even think straight anymore because they've been so abused and so tortured in their soul and in their spirit. That's what justice for Mica is about, putting an end to coercion, if possible, but at least to make laws that make it when someone reaches out for help, they get help. They are not ignored. Why is it that JP seems to get all the help he needs in Myrtle Beach, but the people who really needed the help didn't get it? They didn't get it. They got ignored, they got locked up, and it's still that way. Nothing's come to happen to clean up Myrtle Beach police. Nothing. I Spy says, do we really care what Susie has to say? She's taken her side, and that is with JP. She will soon figure out that she's sleeping with the devil. And you know what? Oh, sorry, just Robin. I still want to know why Susie Skinner hasn't been interviewed or questioned, and I would like to know what she has to say. Yeah, she's been real quiet, hasn't she? I feel that she was at one time almost a centerpiece of solid rock. When she was with Chris, he was a motivational speaker, apparently a great guy, and I think that she got kind of a Munchausen syndrome, although he was disabled for sure. It seemed like, she was probably in the limelight at that time and used it to get close to JP. Probably looked at him like he was kind of some kind of superstar, what psychologists would say a king prophet. Mysteriously, her husband was found in the bottom of a pool on a day that he went up to the pool to play chess with someone who never arrived, that we know of. Learning that those kind of wheelchairs could be controlled with a gaming remote, gaming controller. I don't even know if that's accurate. That's just what I've heard. Chris had to face the humiliation of addressing his own pastor. According to Allie's affidavit, Chris had to address him and tell JP not to bother his family. And then 2 weeks later was found at the bottom of a pool. Remember that name that JP and his minions gave the church for a day or two? In the water? What kind of Freudian slip was that? Or was it a joke? both Micah and Chris Skinner were found in the water? Are they that twisted, or were they that empty-headed? What do y'all think? It's a terrible situation, and one that if she was having some type of affair with him while Chris was alive, then Susie must be a disgusting person if that's true. Micah found out apparently that something was going on or felt uncomfortable as well, and from what was reported, she asked Susie not to go to that church. I mean, who would want someone like that there? If your husband's a pastor and he's having an affair with someone who is still attending the church, still pretending to be your friend, still walking up and hugging your neck week after week, yeah, they'd have to go. They'd have to go. That church wouldn't be big enough for the two of us. And, Micah was so sweet, and she forgave her and allowed her to come back. But I don't think it put an end to that affair. I think it was probably going on the whole time. What do y'all think? Yes, Winky Wonder. He said, I spy you are right. Chris saw right through him, and it's so disrespectful that Susie had JP do the funeral. And yeah, JP, okay, JP officiated over Micah's marriage to Jason, her first marriage, who was JP's best friend. JP said he fell in love with her when he saw her walk down the aisle to marry his best friend. Gross. Then supposedly had an affair with Susie during this time, among others, from what's been reported. Her husband's found dead. She's continuing on, even to the point where, 3 days after Mica was found at Lumber River, that he was out at some cafe or whatever, just joking it up with her. There's pictures because other people couldn't even believe it. She's been seen with him hanging around his house, in and out, all hours of night, supposedly, allegedly, totally ignoring her own children, who not only lost their father, who have been subject to all this gossip and rumors. Kids catch everything. And little kids are mean. And you think that they don't tease? Yeah. Allie said her kids were well aware of the adulterous affairs JP had. Michael Edge, thank you for joining me. You said, I hate the bickering that's going on at the protest. However, Guru is not innocent in this. He's been talking about CJ on many videos. Surprise, CJ didn't address that yesterday. I know everybody's at odds with everybody else. I tend to just turn off and not view and not support the content creators that are causing a bunch of mess or making big deals out of things. We are supposed to be peacemakers as Christians. Not everybody at the protest is a Christian, and not everybody's a believer. Some people do this on the human aspects, which certainly are great. So whether you're a believer or you're not a believer, going to the protests and supporting Mica and justice for Mica is a human thing as well as a spiritual thing. And I appreciate everybody who goes out there or who puts content up. I'm just going to grab a quick drink here. I talk so much that my mouth is dry. So what can Susie say that's going to make anything all better, that give any insight? Like, yeah, I had an affair while my husband was in a wheelchair with my pastor, who was a trusted person in our life. what would she say? Yeah, I sent him up to the pool by himself to meet somebody. Maybe he did that. I don't know. To meet somebody to play chess with that never showed up, apparently, because Chris was found by people who worked there, from what I understood. Is that what y'all understood? Yeah, we haven't heard from Chris's family. I have no idea. I haven't heard from JP's mother. I would love to hear something from her. She raised the dude. I heard she lives right in that same neighborhood. I don't know what's going on with the content creators and the uh, social media little groups that are supposed to be supporting Mica's Mica's list, and laws to help be tougher about uh, DV situations. I don't know what's up with them. Why has it gotten like this? Why are people being so hateful? I don't know. I don't know. But I wanted to come back to what the real purpose of Justice for Mica is. I'm putting out a video, or I'm working on one today. It's a little complicated. I don't know why I'm so complicated. I just am. And I told you guys, I'm an artist, and I put things together in a way that seems good to me. Sometimes with some music, sometimes with just close-ups. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning myself. But I hope you all enjoy my videos that I'm putting out. At first, I was using the AI voice because it was easy for me to do the text to talk. But then I started realizing, y'all want to get to know who I am behind these things, and you can't really do that without seeing my face once in a while or hearing my voice. And I can't really get the effect that I want through the AI um, because it just sounds fake. It sounds weird. So, I'm going to go back over some of my old videos and kind of redo them. And I think the content was good and the ideas were good, but maybe the AI was a little distracting. And, you know, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, the things going on at the protests need to get rounded up. I'm not sure how to do that. These people involved need to step back and take a serious inventory of their own souls, it seems. But I'll be praying. Y'all join me too. And we'll pray for peace, and we'll pray for positivity, real positivity, not just people who say they're working for positivity, but seem to be producing content full of conflict. I don't know. It seems like a double message. I'm not really on anybody's side. I'm just on Justice for Mica side. I'm just doing what the Lord shows me to do daily. I really thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kind words. You mean the world to me. If you're not part of my little group, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. God bless you, Michael Edge. God bless you, I Spy and Winky Wonder, and Just Robin, and everybody else who has joined me today. Thank you so much. Y'all mean the world to me. All right, I'm going to let you go. Go in God's love. Peace be with y'all. Bye. All right, thank you guys.